This is Dr. Thomas Rocco. I'm from Back to Basics, CBD. I do a podcast on CBD health to help people understand proper medical use of CBD. Today, I want to focus on the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and their feelings and their view on CBD. This might help not only doctors, but patients understand why it's a little bit of an unregulated type of treatment. I'm going to start with a little bit of the history of the background of CBD. Specifically, it all started with the review with the World Health Organization. In 2017, 2018, there were some reviews from the World Health Organizations and meetings in Geneva that looked at the concern of CBD. And in 2017 and 2018, their summaries were very similar. They talked about how in animal and in human studies, they felt that there was no abuse potential or dependence potential. And that's really important because a lot of patients, doctors feel that CBD is related to marijuana and has some dependence to it. But with this first review in 2017 and 2018 from the World Health Organization, they felt that there was no abuse potential seen in animal and also in human models. The other thing that they felt with the World Health Organization is that there was a very good safety profile. The thing that was a little concerning with the World Health Organizations is that there was really no sanctioned use of medical use of CBD, specifically with the oils, with high concentration extracts. And the feeling was more studies were needed from the World Health Organization. Other things that they also mentioned were that several countries did modify the control of CBD as it related to the use. In the United States and currently, it's still considered a Schedule I drug, which means that there's no medicinal indication for it because it's affiliated with marijuana. But their absolute view of it showed that there was no evidence of any recreational use of CBD or any public health related concerns with any use of pure CBD. So let's go to the FDA. So what they have done since 2015 is actually look at companies that are making CBD and testing their products. The one thing that they are very concerned about is the marketing of CBD with unproven medical claims. And again, they're worried about unknown quality of the medicine. At this time, the FDA really isn't regulating these companies, and companies are almost doing what they want. But a great way to look at if you have a product from a good company is looking at the FDA and their critical review of companies since 2015. We have this on our website. If you look at our website at www.backtobasicsllc.com, under our CBD health, there is a thing about the FDA and how it relates to all the test results and warning letters since 2015. The last one was November 2019. The other thing on the FDA report was they were also mentioning how it is illegal for companies to market it as a food additive or a dietary supplement. A lot of the warning letters have to do with that problem, and they also have a lot of problems with what they state of CBD concentrations in the product. The FDA has, though, approved one CBD product as actually a prescription drug. It treats two rare, severe forms of epilepsy, and that's Epidiolex. That is a CBD product that you need a prescription from a physician. Other than Epidiolex, there's no other CBD medication that can be obtained with a prescription. The FDA also mentions it needs more data on its safety and its risks. The three major concerns of CBD that the FDA has, and I do agree with at least two of them, is that they're worried about liver injury. The reason is CBD is metabolized by the P450 enzyme system in the liver. And just like Tylenol, if you overdose on it, take a large amount of it, you are going to stress the liver, and then you can have issues with liver lab tests, cause liver injury. That is an issue. Patients need to understand this. The other thing that the FDA is concerned about is drug interactions. I agree 100% as well. When I speak to my patients about CBD, we go over their medications. We have on our website drug interactions. You can put in your drugs as well as cannabidiol, which is CBD, and it can look if there's interactions. For instance, Coumadin is metabolized by the liver the same fashion as CBD. So if you take CBD and you're taking Coumadin, it will make the Coumadin possibly work longer in your body, and it can cause your blood tests, your INR, to be elevated. People on Coumadin, I always tell them to understand if you try CBD, your blood tests may change, and that's important to know. So with all of my patients, not only do I say, what do you use it for? What medications are you on? Let's look if there's any interactions. The last thing that the FDA had mentioned was about male reproductive toxicity. It's a concern that CBD can negatively affect a man's fertility. For me and my patients, I'm more concerned about liver toxicity. I'm worried about their medications and drug interactions. Those are the main concerns that I have with CBD use and use with their medications. The FDA also mentioned that there's still a lot more science and safety and quality of CBD that needs to be done. I totally agree that they have to update the public as it learns more about CBD. Currently, there's no regulation by FDA in terms of CBD production, how it's produced, what the indication is for CBD. And that's what we're here trying to do as a physician in this group, trying to get people to understand how to take it safely, how to start with the proper dose, how to be sure that you're not going to harm yourself. The one thing I was a little concerned about is what the FDA didn't talk about was about the small amount of THC that is in some of the products. When you buy CBD, there's full spectrum products, broad spectrum products, and isolates. Isolates and broad spectrum products have no THC in it, only CBD. The full spectrum products have a very small amount, which is 0.3% of THC or less. The concern of that is if you're a person that has to have drug tests, it could be for somebody that's on a pain management every month doing urine tests. It could be somebody that's employed that requires a drug test randomly. That small amount of THC will be present in your drug testing. And I was very surprised that they didn't mention that at all as one of the concerns for patients taking it over the counter and then having a drug test. That's another thing that I always talk to patients about is, are you concerned about drug tests? Because that changes the type of medications that I will talk to them that might help them. Broad spectrum has CBD and some terpenes, no THC. Isolate CBDs have only CBD, nothing else. But full spectrum CBD products have not only CBD and terpenes, it also has a small percent of THC in it. So if you're doing any type of drug tests, it can be present. I've seen it. I've had patients do it, do their full spectrum medications, do a simple drug test, those dollar tests you find at a simple Dollar Tree store, and it'll be positive. So it is concerning that you can buy this over the counter, do an employee drug test or pain management drug test, and it can show that it's positive. The Department of Transportation has stated in the last notice from 2019 that if you're positive for THC, your excuse cannot be that you're taking CBD medications. That is also on our website. If you want to read that notice, we try to get everything out there for anybody that's looking for concern about why taking CBD and how to do it safely. Looking at, again, dosing and going back to the FDA and their concern is we're worried about medication interaction. We're worried about liver toxicity. That's why when we start with patients and how to start it, our initial starting dose is always at the lowest level of the bell-shaped curve that CBD works. So for anxiety, all you need to start with is about 15 to 20 milligrams of CBD oil, and you can work your way up from there. For pain, it depends on severity, it depends on the weight of the patient, but normally the starting range is around 25 to about 40 milligrams to start. If you're very, very overweight, you can be up to as 50 milligrams. With sleep, I would start at about 50 milligrams, and you can go up as high as 150 milligrams. These doses sound high to some patients, but really people that take it for seizure prevention take up to 1,000 milligrams a day. So we're at the low spectrum of the bell-shaped curve that CBD works. But what's also important when you use it, you want to know the correct starting dose. You want to make sure that you start as low as possible, avoid any med interactions, avoid any type of liver toxicity by taking too much. But it's also important to have somebody with a medical background to help you understand how to use it, because it really is a very good medication that can help people with anxiety, for pain, for sleep, for general wellness. How it works at the endocannabinoid system at the level of the receptors. And it's CB1, CB2 receptors. What it does is it helps boost those receptors to work better. It doesn't bind to them. And that's why the World Health Organization had stated that there's no abuse potential because there's no psychoactive properties to it. I've had actually very funny the last couple of weeks people say to me, if I take this and I stop it, am I going to be dependent on it? There's no dependence on it, as the World Health Organization has said. No abuse potential. Even in animal and human studies, there's no concern of that. It's a very safe medication if you do it with the right dose. Start at a low dose, increase it as you need it, and look at what drugs you're taking and the interactions. That's why, as it also stated by the FDA, there's no sanction to this medically, but I think you still need to speak to a medical person to understand how to do it properly. Going into stores that have no medical backgrounds can't tell you why it works, how much the dose you take, how long you should take it for. Do I need to take an oral type of medication, a tincture, a topical? Those things need to be explained by somebody who understands it medically. For me, for pain, I will say the best way to take it is use topicals for very minor pain. It helps very good for that because it's cheap, it's localized, works great. You can do it every 1 to 2 hours. If you have moderate to severe pain, depending on if you have chronic pain or acute pain, depends on what you want to do with pills and with also using tinctures. If it's an acute pain only, I would just use a tincture. It works fast, works for 2 to 3 to 4 hours, and that's all you need to use. If it's something that's chronic, I would take a capsule every day to get that anti-inflammatory effect in your body and use your tinctures as you need it additionally. So people have to talk to you about this medically. I have one patient that's very stiff in the morning, what she does is she takes a tincture immediately to get that effect because it's going to work in 5 to 15 minutes, and at the same time takes a capsule. It takes about an hour to work, and that's going to work the rest of the day. So when she wakes up, that muscle ache, that muscle pain gets better immediately, but then the capsule lets it work for the rest of the day. So it's really important to talk to somebody that understands the difference between how a topical works versus a tincture or an oil or a capsule. The last thing, and again, the FDA mentioned this, was unknown quality of the CBD. Different companies make it differently. That's why if you do buy CBD, it's so important to make sure that they could provide you a lab result. Everything we have on our website has a lab result to show you exactly what is in it. Different types of cannabinoids do different things. For us, we have a type of company called EcoScience. It has different types of tinctures for different issues, like Boost for your mood, Focus to help you focus, Relief to help with pain, and the last one is Dream to help you sleep. It's different cannabinoids that do different things specific to that medical problem. So with the lab results, with all of the products we have, show you that that is in it, and also show you if there's any THC in it. We have mostly full spectrum medications. It'll show that it has a small amount of THC, and the handful of isolates that we have shows that it's 100% CBD and nothing else in it. In fact, the company that we get the isolate tincture, which I have used now for about a year, is the only company that is recognized by the physician desk rep. So when I looked for an isolate, I found that not only that this company was the only CBD product in the physician desk reference, also showed that they gave lab results. Looking at their website, they also were one of the companies that were present at the World Health Organization 2016 to talk about CBD. I've been involved with them for probably 6 months. Just recently, they have appointed me to the medical advisory board, and hopefully we'll have another podcast that talks about how they're making their products and what makes their products work well because of the strict rules and regulations that they do for their own company. So if you want an isolate, not only can we provide one that you would not have to be concerned about any THC in it, we can provide lab results. And that's the important thing, because if you are somebody that is concerned about a drug test, you want to make sure you get the right product. That's why I totally agree with, not only when you buy something, you need somebody to explain the dose, explain which intake works best. The person that's speaking to you has to have some type of medical background, understand why it works. And also, if you're going to buy it from somebody, that they can provide you a lab result so you know exactly what is in that product. All the products, again, what we have the lab result. When companies call and they say to us, we like this product, can you provide a lab result? If they can't, we don't even want to talk to them. I had a chiropractor that I know from another state was interested in selling CBD products, and he sent me all the information. Company looked great. I then said to them, can they provide you lab results? And he sent me lab results from 4 years ago, 2016. And I said to him, I would not use this company unless those lab results were within the last 6 months. Who knows? It changes. Each lot changes when they send it out. When we get a delivery, we also get the updated lab results. So that's really very important. So let's go back to the review. The FDA, they, again, if you are really concerned about a company, you can find this on our website at www.backtobasicsllc.com. That's BAK2basicsllc.com. It's important to know that you have to get the right product from companies that are really doing it correctly in terms of making it in the proper content. I had somebody state to me, buying CBD is like buying water. You either get it from the French Alps, you can get it cleaned at a distillery, you can get toilet water. There's no regulation, so you got to make sure if you use CBD, specifically medically, you need to get lab results. Again, you can see this update on our website. There's only one CBD product that you can get as a prescription. It's called Epidiolex, and that's for 2 rare severe forms of epilepsy. It's illegal to market CBD as a food added dietary supplement, so if you see that, that's not what the FDA wants at this point. They do need more data to update its safety and risks, but the risks that they mention I totally agree with drug interactions, and that's why we go over all the drug interactions with patients that are taking CBD and concerned about it. And the other main thing is liver toxicity, and that is because it's metabolized by the liver. So if your medication is metabolized by the liver and it's from the same enzyme system as P450, there could be an interaction. We go over all those with you if you're concerned. For instance, ibuprofen is metabolized by the kidney. There's no interaction if it's metabolized by a different organ. FDA also talked about how CBD is marketed with unproven medical claims and unknown quality. To me, you need to know lab results. With any product that you obtain, we can provide that for you. For unproven medical claims, I think that's the reason that's the case is currently the FDA, even the World Health Organization, does not feel that there's any medical sanction to CBD. In my own experience, I feel that I've seen really good results, minimal side effects, if any. Again, the World Health Organization feels that there's no dependence physically with CBD, and the safety profile is really, really good. And again, the last bullet point the FDA has stated, and this is going to be an ongoing thing, is they're working to answer questions about the safety, the science, the quality of CBD products. And again, they will continue to update the public as it learns about CBD. All of this can be found on our website at www.backtobasicsllc.com. Call us at 401-678-6420 for any questions. We're here to help you not only use it correctly, use it safely, and use it for the right medical illness. We also provide concise, typed out instructions for every different product that we have. If you buy a product, what we do is we have not only how you use it for pain, how you use it for anxiety, how to use it for sleep, how to use it for general wellness. Even the topicals, we have a page, how often to take it, what is best for, does it have THC in it or not. Currently we have 3 or 4 to 5 isolate CBD products. The rest of them are full spectrum, which is a small amount of THC. I've said this before, I do like full spectrum medications better because that small amount of THC works in the endocannabinoid system, and it works with CBD as a synergistic effect, and it makes and enhances the CBD effect. Patients that take CBD isolates, I will tell them we start at the dose that we recommend. You might need to go up higher because it does need a little bit extra dose with just pure CBD. But if you ask me what I recommend, full spectrum medications definitely work better initially with lower doses because of that entourage and synergistic effect with that small amount of THC. All of this can be found on our website at www.backtobasicsllc.com. Call us at 401-678-6420 for any questions. Our products are really, really, really good. We've had good effects with patients with their pain, anxiety, sleep symptoms, and their general wellness. We're here to do it safely. We're here to treat you like a patient starting at a low dose. And we'll go over any medications if you're worried about drug interactions. Please contact us for any questions. I thank you for your time. Thank you again. This is Dr. Thomas Rocco from Back to Basics Medical CBD Consultants. The website's www.backtobasicsllc.com. Please call me at 401-678-6420 for any medical CBD questions. We're here for safety, proper dosing. We're here to do it the right way. Thank you.